Okay, it's 4 o'clock. We'll go ahead and start. We have Kate Deloach, who is one of our lobbyists. We have Councilmember Gillis, Vice Mayor Mahoney, and Mayor Horton. Anna Richards says she's at Leadership Monroe. She can't be on the call, and I haven't heard from Councilmember Friedman. Looks like we have his guest. These might not be your name, so I'm sorry. Art Yagley from Michigan. F. Durf, which I assume is Frank Durfler. Fireflies at No Taker, which may be Frank. Sharon Mahoney's showing up as a guest, and Sue Miller as a guest. So if anybody has any questions for Kate, you can those of you who have my number can text me too. I don't know if you can talk. We don't have that many people on, so if we have time, we could probably do some questions. But I thought we'd start off with having Kate just give us what we do is tell us what happened this week, what's scheduled for next week, and then if council in particular has any specific question about legislation, they can ask. And then if somebody from the public has something, it looks like Lee Young just came on too, Representative Mooney's aide. So we have her there also. So Kate, you want to go ahead and start the update? It's now 4:01. So.
Sure, absolutely. Just a couple of quick things to update after we're getting through the second week of session. Representative Mooney's area of critical state concern bill, which contains our Florida Forever carve out and the exemption from performance bonds for our local habitats. That bill moved through its first committee this week. So good forward motion there. SB 840, which is the bill we discussed last week that contains some changes surrounding the language from SB 180 from last session, moved through its second committee this week as well. It has one committee remaining, the Rules Committee in the Senate. The House version has not started moving, so we will definitely have to stay in touch as that starts to move to see what the House version looks like versus the Senate. But the Senate bill is definitely continuing to move and got unanimous support. And the only other two bills that I wanted to highlight for us were two more of the property tax bills have moved through the committee process or continuing to move through. The first is HB 203, which is the phased out elimination of non-school property taxes for homesteads. That bill would gradually expand the homestead exemption until it was ultimately eliminating those taxes on homestead properties by 2037. That bill moved through its final committee and is ready for a vote by the full House. The only other property tax bill that is ready for a full House vote is the one by Representative Busada that would give a $200,000 exemption for properties that have multi-peril insurance policies. And then the last bill that moved on property tax this week was HB 213. That is Rep. Griffith's bill, modification of limitations on property assessment increases. And that bill would revise how quickly property tax assessments increases can be made, moving those reassessments to a 3-year cycle. It would also cap homestead assessment increases for non-school taxes at the lower of 3% or inflation over that period. It would maintain a tighter annual cap for school taxes, and it would allow increases on non-homesteaded properties to increase up to 15% over 3 years. That bill moved through its second committee. It still has to go through the Ways and Means Committee, but those three seem to have a little more traction. And those were the main highlights for me. We're obviously less than 2 weeks away from Florida Keys Day, so we'll continue to work with you and your team in putting together a schedule. There will also be the formal Florida Keys Day schedule that we'll keep you appraised of as it is formalized. And with that, I'm happy to take any questions.
Mayor Horton, do you have something?
I do. Kate, I'm sorry if there's background noise, but I'm cooking in Doc Steiner for a fundraiser for the Wild Bird Center. But my question is, there are several bills that are going to have that seem to be working their way through. They could have some pretty harsh effects to building and planning, not just the 180 fix, but several others related to private providers for planning departments and those private provider and applications that come through the building department. Are you tracking those, and are there any updates you might have on those?
Sure. Yes, there are some, there's quite a few, growth management and land use bills that are out there. Some will move, some of them definitely won't. So we definitely are tracking those. I think, Ryan sent a newsletter. It's from last week, should have some of them there. I can have him, I'll make sure he sends something this week so that you guys can get some ones that he's got highlighted. So which one we need to support and which ones we need to either change or maybe not support.
Councilwoman Gillis, did you have something?
I did. She may have had it in the report. I had to step out just a second, but are we tracking anything to do with home rule? Have you seen anything particular? And the other half, which is similar, is what about vacation rental things?
So I have not seen a vacation rental bill this year, but I will make a point to check on that, Councilwoman Gillis, and if there is anything related to home rule or vacation rentals, I'll make sure it's added to our tracking.
Thank you.
Okay, Vice Mayor Mahoney says she didn't have anything. Can we open it up to the guests since we have some time?
They have to raise their hand.
All right, if one of the guests wants to talk, just raise your hand, and if you have a question for Kate, we could go and take some questions since we have time. And we're recording this, so make sure whatever you say, you realize it's being recorded. It's public record. So, any questions from the attendees? Frank Durfler, Barb Yagley, Lee Young, Sue Miller. Any questions for Kate? Last chance. Okay, so Kate, I think that's everybody that wanted to speak. We'll talk again a week from today, Friday at 4:00. As you mentioned, we're going to start trying to set up appointments for Keys Day. I'll be up there pretty much that whole week, and so we're going to meet with agencies as well as legislators. So we'll get with you on that. And Don and I were both on a conference call. We're on the advocacy committee for the League of Cities. And so they also have a list of agendas. So we're following the League of Cities agenda, which fits in what Deb was talking about as far as home rule, et cetera. And also what Don was talking about as far as building permits and fees, et cetera. So we're parallel tracking the League of Cities. So it's not just us. I've also looked at the county's priorities and also the Montgomery County school boards. And so I think we're all on the same side. We don't necessarily need to be, saying the same things to everybody. So we're going to try to pick and choose. But I don't see anywhere where we're at odds with the county, the school board, and other cities in the Keys. So I think we're all tracking. Obviously, the other thing would be our legislative budget appropriations request. I know it's real early in the process. Any news on their budget request?
We are getting there. So the House Appropriations subcommittees on budget are all meeting next week, later in the week. So I would guess that we either start to see initial budgets next week or the following week. So they're going to start moving.
Good. Okay.
Right. Well, thank you, everyone. I'll see you same time next week.
And once again, if you want to look back at this, it's going to be recorded on our website. Last week's call is already on our website. So if you have any questions, just let us know. We'll let you watch it. Any last comments from anybody? Raise your hand.
I just wanted to say thank you to Kate and our legislative staff.
Okay.
I'd just like to thank whoever attended today. Spread the word. Let everybody know that we're doing this on Fridays at 4:00. If there's anybody that has any questions or tracking any bills, now's the time to ask. We've got one-on-one with one of our lobbyists. Thank you very much, Kate, for doing this for us.
Okay.
Of
Nobody
course.
raised their hand? Okay, that'll be it. Thank you very much. It's now 4:09. We're now officially concluding. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.